Hi guys, listen, so many of you have reached out to me about these catalytic converter thefts, and a few of you have even been victims yourself. So I wanted to take a minute to talk to you about why these are happening, how to know if you're at risk, and what to do if it's happened, and what works in terms of prevention and what doesn't really work. Okay, let's get into it. So essentially, according to the National Crime Bureau, these thefts are up by 1,000% from last year. Why are they up? Well, yeah, thieves, inflation, people need money, I guess. I don't really know. I can't speak to that. But what I can tell you is that precious metals have really gone up in value. And how catalytic converters work is they use these precious metals to clean the air exhaust from the vehicle before it hits the streets. So after it takes them like less than 5 minutes to steal them, and the street value of most catalytic converters are between $150 and $300. And for us to replace a catalytic converter can cost anywhere between $1,000 and $3,000. And that's not, that's assuming you don't have a V8 engine. In my car, I have two catalytic converters, and that's just ridiculous. So which cars are the big targets? So because you have to get underneath the vehicle to steal a catalytic converter, they seem to like vehicles that are lifted. So in most states, the number one vehicle for these thefts is the Ford F-150, except for here in California, where the number one vehicle for catalytic converter thefts is the Toyota Prius. Now, why the Prius? Well, it's because a hybrid engine actually creates fewer pollutants, and thus the catalytic converter and its associated precious metals is better preserved. So if you steal a catalytic converter out of a Prius, it's in better shape. Thus, you're going to get more money when you bring it into the junkyard. Okay, so how can you prevent this? Well, first, let me tell you what doesn't work. I see a lot of you posting things on Nextdoor and Facebook saying, I caught the guy on my ring and I went to the police and they didn't do anything. Yeah, let me tell you this. Here in Los Angeles, they're not going to do anything. They're just not. If they have a photo on your ring of a guy stealing a catalytic converter, how are they going to get that guy? They're just not going to waste their time. So even if you have a camera, it really won't work. Some people say get a dash cam. I just don't think they're going to be deterred by that. And I also don't think that parking under a street light will prevent anything either. But here's what is proven to work. Number one, a physical contraption around your catalytic converter. So sometimes this is in the form of a cage, sometimes it's a clamp. This should obviously be installed by a professional unless you really know what you're doing, because if you clamp to the wrong thing under your car, you could create some damage. The other thing that people seem to do is you can do this etching where you etch your VIN number into the catalytic converter, or you can etch your license plate into the catalytic converter or spray paint it. And sometimes that seems to deter people. I don't know. If I were a thief, I'd be like, whatever, who cares about your VIN number? You're not going to go to a junkyard and go through it. Anyway, okay, here's how you know it's happened to you. A lot of you have asked me this question. So if you get into your vehicle and you turn it on and it makes a really loud noise, that's sign number one. Sign number two is when you get on the gas, that noise gets even louder. And number three, you get out of your car, you look where your exhaust is, and more than likely, you're going to see the distance between your muffler and the connecting pipe to the rest of your engine. There's going to be a big gap there. If there's a big gap there, that's where your catalytic converter was. What do you do if it's happened to you? Well, first of all, don't panic. You actually can drive a car for a short amount of time without a catalytic converter. In fact, they weren't mandated in this country until, I don't know, the 80s, something like that. But you could drive it a short distance to bring it to a mechanic or home or wherever you need to go. But you really need to get it fixed as soon as possible, because number one, it's dangerous for the environment, and number two, you'll never pass inspections. Plus, you're probably going to be really annoyed by that noise. Okay, to wrap up, the things you should do are, try to park inside of a garage, try to get your physical clamp or something around your catalytic converter, and know if you are a target. If you're driving an F-150 or a Prius, you have to expect that this might happen to you, and you need to take the appropriate safeguards. Good news is that most insurance companies will cover the cost of a catalytic converter theft. In fact, I have a friend that had hers stolen, and she said that her insurance company had wired her the funds before they could even get the catalytic converter replaced. And that's kind of the bad news, is thanks to the supply chain shortage, you may have a bit of a delay in getting a catalytic converter. Ugh. Anyway, I'm Motorhead Mama. I'm here to help you, the consumer. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you did, please subscribe. Have a great day. Bye.